Just a quick disclaimer. These are all based off of my personal and spiritual beliefs and practices. I am by no means a doctor or your personal reader. If you feel that something is wrong or you need advice, please make sure that you seek the proper medical help, as I cannot help you with that. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the reading. Oh, okay. Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I am Aphrodite, and this is Aphrodite's house. So today's reading, I have actually put off, and I put it off for the longest time because I really, the worldly updates and everything, it can be so stressful to just hear about. It can be stressful, you know, to have to deal with, especially if you yourself have had some like premonitions of things like this or have gotten information about this. So I am gonna tell you what I've seen, what I've heard, what's been floating around in the astrals. This is gonna be like, when I say worlds, I mean everything. So we're gonna start with like basic things that I've heard floating around in the astrals, things I was told in the astrals, and then celebrity updates, Hollyweird updates, all that good shit. So I'm gonna try and keep the space as clean as possible, because anytime you talk about world updates and things like that, there tends to be this beautiful, not beautiful, but group of individuals who love to come in, and it kind of shakes up the energy, stirs it up, and makes readers anxious. And so they get to that pivotal moment where they're like, you know, I'm just gonna stop the reading here because I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to try to avoid that. Yeah, so first we're just gonna go over a few things. I made this resin tray, I may as well use it, right? We're gonna go over a few things, some details that I got over the weekend. Just do my full water. Seriously, it's a lot of information. Let me set up my protection for 365 ways. Okay. So a couple of updates that I have gotten so far are organs. People's organs are gonna start shutting down when they sleep, or rather, one of the I'm sorry, my roommate came home. One of the things that you want to look for in yourself is the ability to have more control in your dream state than you normally do. So this would be like if you lucid dream, if you don't normally lucid dream, but then you've started to, go to your doctor, get a full blood workup, make sure everything looks good, because having more control than you did before might symbolize you kind of being, or others being, in that in-between stage. And that's going to happen like just before your organs kind of shut down. My spirit team and the astrals was kind of equating it to like a death. Now, it doesn't have to be like a full-blown death, because I feel like what they were trying to tell me is that some stuff can shut down, but you can get the help you need and you'll be okay. This isn't like a major, it's not like your heart or something. You know what I mean? It's like something near the gut, like near the stomachy area that they're talking about, like pain, and then just like you really don't feel well and you lay down to go to sleep and you feel like you're dreaming, you're in a dreamlike state, but really it's more of a transitional period. It's more of a, hey, we brought you here so we can communicate with you. Something is not right. Get up and get looked at. That's going to start happening to more people. Mosquitoes, especially near the leg area, you need to be wary of that. Something about bug bites transferring over, like new types of diseases, especially if the mosquito went and bit someone who has monkeypox and then goes and like bites you. I'm just telling you the information that I was told as it came in. It's been coming in over the course of a couple weeks. So really up your bug spray and your protection. They were saying don't buy that lightweight shit. meaning like don't go to your regular store and buy like a Raid or something if you have bugs in your house. You need to get like hardcore like bug like kill on contact spray, and like the areas which you need to pay the most attention to are going to be your legs. Obviously your arms can get bit up too, but I feel like we take more precautions near the arms, chest, and face, and kind of sometimes tend to neglect the legs. I feel like there was more in terms of just downloads that I got, but I can't remember them all, and that usually happens when it's not important for me to bring up right now. Water. Make sure that you have a good supply of water in your house. Right now I have like 5 or 6 jugs and 2 cases of water bottles. I buy 2 cases of water once a week, every week, but I blow through water. I don't drink from the tap or from, you know, I don't have a Brita filter or anything, so I just buy bottled water. I should invest in one though. Yeah, make sure you have a good supply of water handy. This isn't to cause panic or to make you think, oh my God, you know, now we're in this situation. No, just make sure you have water. Everyone needs to make sure that they have really good, clean water if they can, if it's accessible to them. Now, if you are into the filter systems, that might be good too. One of those where you can go up into the lake, literally take water and then do the drops and it'll filter everything. Those might be a really good investment too. So what do you want the collective to know in terms of like the world in general? This doesn't have to do with like celebrities or Hollywood. We'll get to that in a minute. Sheesh. Okay. Oops. People aren't taking what's happening seriously, and it's going to cause them to enter into a state of panic at some point. People are going to be really reckless with how they do things. They're not going to be as kind and as giving and as generous as they have been in the past when things like this have come up. And it seems like there's going to be a lot of false starts in terms of hopes for changing things. It seems like people believe that there's going to be like a catalyst for something, and oh, that's going to spark change, and it does like nothing. I keep hearing tickets to my downfall, so I know for sure, I believe that that's an MGK album, but they're referencing it to like the world, and literally the people who like know what's going on pretty much having a front row seat to tickets to my downfall. Just watching it all shift and change is the word that I like to use. I don't like to use these kind of ideals of like, oh, burning it down to the ground, you know, society, blah blah blah. Like they're literally saying that you're gonna have a front row seat, yep, to watching it all shift and change. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna move these up. Move you right there. Yeah, the tickets to my downfall reference was funny. It's like, damn, did you get your popcorn and shit? You're gonna want to see this shit. Oops. Yep. Did you want this to be reversed? No. Okay. So like I said, make sure that you have everything that you feel you need. Your spirit team will designate you to the items that you actually need. I feel like you'll feel a strong pull to particular things. Particular people in particular areas are not going to need the same things. That's why I'm not giving a detailed list of like, oh, you need this, you should have this, you should have this. Like, you'll be called to, you'll know. You'll have a front row seat to the changes, and it's going to be good for you because you are mentally and spiritually prepared. Going back into a potential lockdown or any situation where you need to isolate yourself, you're going to thrive because you have everything you need. You didn't waste any time, or your guides didn't waste any time letting you know what was going on. Oh, yeah. So if you're getting information, particularly if you do forms of divination, make sure that you're sharing your knowledge with the people around you. Don't be a dick. Don't be like, ooh, source gave me the knowledge and I'm gonna make sure I'm good, but then like not tell anyone else. This is not like a, yeah. These are not times where you can afford to not be generous. And especially in terms of passing on knowledge, because knowledge is power. They're trying to give me a lot of information about that. These are not all directly related, by the way. These are all things that are going to happen within the collective. And I'm trying to follow this sort of like timeline. It's just a lot of information. Wow. Okay, some of you are going to be leaving relationships in order to pursue higher knowledge, in order to get back into a situation of trusting in yourself, trusting in your intuition, and truthfully growing. You are not going to allow anyone who's coming in with like swift communication to persuade you into doing things you don't feel comfortable doing, or changing you, or trying to get you to not believe that what you've been told is real. So this is more like, this is my spiritual practice, this is my lifestyle, this is who I am, this is me, this is my ancestors. If you can't accept that, then I need you to go. When I say breaking up relationships, this could be familiar relationships, friends, it could be a lover, twin flames. A lot of you are about to trickle out for a hot minute. There's a lot of changes that need to come through, and so space is going to need to be given on both ends for growth. One of my guides is just like, it's a new world. It's a new world. So we're about to enter into a time where those who stuck to their spiritual guns and their status and, you know, put in the time and effort to grow are really going to be needed more and respected more. This could even potentially be a point where they start to have more spiritual leaders in higher positions of power. But only after the shift takes place. So only after we've seen the potential downfall, those who are corrupt getting what they deserve, justice being handed down from the higher realms, the light realms, and even shadow realms, all realms really, who do their due diligence and come to collect, because you don't get something for nothing. Even in terms of spiritual knowledge and growth, it is a trade-off. You get the knowledge, you get the access, you learn, but you can never go back to how you were, right? That's the trade-off. I give up my old life for my new life. Even if you choose to walk in a path that is purely of light, it doesn't matter what religion you are in, or you know what you study or what you practice, you always give up something to receive something. It could be the smallest thing, but some of you who have really fine-tuned spiritual gifts aren't going to want to help people. This is going to be a situation of someone maybe said something or called you a little cuckoo and said you were too much in your brain and that you didn't know what you were talking about. And this is you kind of them abusing the generosity that you've given them in terms of like higher spiritual knowledge that you've received. Now, collectively, I see this happening a lot, especially with the divine feminine and masculines being like, oh, no, 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 no. And then turning around and going, oh, hey, wait a minute, I need you. And you being like, you said, I thought you said I was crazy. And what's crazy is it's going to be a weird trade-off where the feminine might need the masculine for more of physical protection, in terms of like actually physically protecting them. So Black, brown, indigenous, women and things of that nature, people of color who need protection. And then a spiritual trade-off, right? You protect me physically, I protect you spiritually, I make sure you're blessed, I make sure you're good. Really going back to like the old ways of doing things. It could be as simple as blessing them before they leave the house, or speaking beautiful intentions over them before they leave the house, but I see a lot of that coming back. My guides are telling me that when you walk within the path of, when you walk the path of divinity, when you walk the path of the divine, when you work with divine, when you work with source, when you work with your deities, your ancestors, and even those of you who have been called to work with like dragons, or the great mother serpent and things of that nature, when you walk that path, when you are dedicated, you get these doors that open for you, that put you in better positions. There's going to be a lot more of that, where we see things shifting for people in highest ways. And really, it's going to be interesting, because it's going to bring new meaning to as above, so below. And I really don't like using that. I really don't like thinking about that phrase, is what I should say. But it's gonna be, everything's gonna be flipped on its axis. And so people who were kind of in these lower positions, who really maybe didn't have the best things in life, are really going to start to thrive because of all of the hard work and effort that they put into these things, whether it be physically or spiritually. Think Hunger Games without Hunger Games. Really taking back the power, but not in such a vulgar kind of way. Yeah. Okay, the part of the reading that I was kind of dreading. There's gonna be more secrets that come out around how the governments do things, and how they do their things of works, and how a lot of the news and information that we get does not happen in real time. So if you see something on the news, it probably actually happened months ago. Like when they found that ecosystem. Yeah, people have known about inner earth for a really long time. That's not new news. I just think it got to a point where they couldn't deny that inner earth was a thing. And once you start having to accept that things exist, people start having questions. And when enough people ask the same question, there's no hiding behind that facade. So a lot of stuff is going to come to the light. And what I tell people a lot of the times, this is just based off of what I firmly believe in my own practices, is that spirituality and magic in general, the things that we consider to be magic, is just science that can't be explained to those who need everything to be explained. Right? So an inner earth ecosystem probably has some logical scientific reasoning behind it. Even traveling through the dimensions, you know, and things like quantum physics and how they kind of all tie into these things, astral projection. And I'm very into science. I've always been a huge nerd, but I also believe what my eyes see and what my soul feels. And so it's not as thin of a line as people want us to believe. It's really not. They would just rather not explain it to people so that it makes tangible sense. So a lot of that is going to change because they're gonna fucking have to. They're gonna have to make it make sense because shit's gonna start happening and people are gonna be like, what the hell is this? Okay. Okay. So, can I get an update on the energy of children? Right, children play a big part in our future, especially now that we've entered into this golden era, the golden age, where a lot of kids, a lot of spiritual children are trying to be born to bring about change in the world for the future. So I just need to, or I would like to tap in and see what the energy of that looks like. As spiritual practitioners, one of our top things that we should be worried about is protecting children and the energy of children. So can you just, okay, not doing that. The energies surrounding the future of these children basically change them. Keep going. Yay! This is so good. Get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who used and abused the energy of children for personal gain will not be able to do that shit anymore. Children are going to be, and are already, before they're even born here, divinely protected. This new wave of children is going to be like nothing else. They are divinely protected, heavily protected. Once they come into these families that they need to be into, it's going to be work, 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 work. But in all of the best ways, these kids are going to end up being our teachers. For reference, these kids are going to end up being our teachers. Oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. I'm so happy. The energy surrounding children has always been a little weird. You know, I don't really talk about Hollyweird and their obsession with the youth and the children. I'm just gonna leave it at this. That's changing. That's definitely getting ready to change. Middle of the deck being the Empress. So Spirit is doing what it's gonna do. Mother Earth, the energy surrounding the matrix of inner Earth, so Gaia, the mother, the divine mother, is protecting her new wave of children who are coming in. The way that we parent and do things is definitely going to have to change because we're going to have to be the ones to keep up with them. They don't need to know how to keep up with us. They excel far past us. This is even like if you practice with herbs and things like that, this could even be them giving you herbs while you're in the middle of working on something and you go, well, how did you know I needed this? Or, you know, what? And it's just like, I know. I clear knowing. I just know. Here's this. You're going to need it. Take it. Listen to your kid. They know what they're talking about. Let them help you. Seriously, I know even for me, I can be very much like, oh, I don't want my kid, you know, involved in divination right now. Like, I know you can see things and hear things and, you know, this, that, and the other thing, but I definitely really feel like there needs to be more of this openness, especially when everyday practices kind of become a routine for us. Small things, even if it's just small things, like teaching them how to speak good intentions over themselves and speak protection over themselves, particular herbs and things like that that could be helpful to them. You know, just the basics. Even if they're young, the basics will be really good because they already know so much. I don't foresee you having to do too much. I really don't. But the energy surrounding kids is so good. There's so much divine protection here. There's so much love, and there's so many people who've been wanting kids who are going to be blessed with these little spiritual babies, and they're going to come they're going to come here onto earth, and it's going to be so beautiful. And so now that I've gotten past that, I'm going to tap into I have my grandma here looking over me, and she's like, don't do it. I have to though. Let's talk about Hollyweird. Let's talk about Hollywood. I wanted to use my Santa Muerte deck, but I'm not gonna do it. I just know that if I use that deck, it's gonna be flame roast. I'm just gonna stick to this one. Okay. The energy was good. Okay, so automatically I hear death. Like, I hear a lot more death is going to be taking place. A lot of people did not fulfill their contractual agreements when it came to karma. Now they have to pay the price. Interesting. Very interesting. A lot of people are going to come together, and it's going to be like a group effort. And they're going to start telling their stories, and a lot more people are going to be exposed for really filthy behavior. Okay, not disgusting, filthy. Okay, this is like no turning back. I need to get the fuck up out of here. I need to book a flight right now and disappear. Offers are going to be blocked off from people, for sure. Hollywood. Oh, shit. Oh, I see. Yeah. A lot of people are going to be tempted to sign contracts. It's going to be new money coming in because old people are going to need to be replaced because so many people are dying because they're not fulfilling their contractual agreements, if you know what I mean. So basically what's going to happen is, as the old die off, they're going to need to bring in the new, but the new aren't really going to know much about that. They're going to think, it's all good, I'll do whatever it takes, I'll sign this contract, I'll do this, I'll do that, thinking it's a wish fulfillment, thinking it'll make them happy, thinking it'll make them decent money. They'll go, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be hard work. It's not going to be worth it. You're not going to have as many friends as you thought. You're going to be put in really tough situations, and you're not going to like it. You're these new waves of celebrities want everything to be handed to them, thinking that everything's a way to make quick money, and that every offer that comes their way is a great offer, and that's just not the case. I wish more people read the fine print, because once you get involved in something and you agree, not only, you know, physically on paper, but spiritually, that you have to fulfill that contract. And I mean it with the utmost respect. There's only so many ways you're gonna get out of that contract, you know. It's an uphill battle. It's a struggle. That's what they're saying. Some people did not know what they were getting into. They want to come forward and share their stories, but they're afraid that they're going to be blocked off from work, thrown off projects. Yeah. So, I can just hear someone tangibly saying, don't let your smart mouth get you into trouble. That was not a warning for me. That was just something that I saw. Yeah. Interesting. Also, it seems like a lot of people are, it seems like a lot of celebrities are going to want to try and have children to pass off some of their karmic debt to. So you might see a lot more of that. And a lot of it, meaning like people with like 5, 6, 7 kids, because, you know, the more kids you have, the more you can evenly distribute that karma and pass it down. The less karmic debt you have, the less work you'll have to do. That's fucked up. Keep your kids out of your shit. I mean, I'm not gonna speak on it. On that, not today. Middle of the deck. A mess. An absolute mess. It seems like there's a couple people who might not be here anymore. They might choose to move on, if that makes sense, rather than have to speak on any types of situations that they've gone through, especially when it starts coming more to light about things like rituals and yeah. Someone is so eager to speak up on this, and it's like there's a male here who's just like, I would just rather die. I would just rather die than have to, yeah. They don't want to face judgment. I don't understand these people. You want to do all this and partake in all this stuff, and then you want divine men and women to try and help you and bless you and save you. You don't want to face judgment. You can't avoid facing judgment. It doesn't work that way. That your greed and the things that you wanted outweighed what should have been in your heart. It seems like a lot of people were given the opportunity to walk within the path of the divine. And when I say that, I don't mean that you have to be a Christian and, you know, pray to God and, you know, whatever. I just mean live a life that doesn't require you to be harmful to other people, spiritually and mentally, you know, being more of an energy vampire. These people, they just don't, they thought they were getting, literally the death card. They thought they were getting everything that they had asked for until they realized that they had bit off more than they could chew. This is for a lot of people right now. And so they're scrambling. They're scrambling to join a religion or a spiritual practice that they think will shield them. They're scrambling to marry or get involved with spiritual men and women who they feel can speak good intentions over them and reverse their karma. And they're scrambling to have more kids to pass down that generational karma and or what we consider to be generational curses, in order to avoid judgment, in order to feel like they don't have to answer for the things that they've done. This is a situation of I brought life to you. I brought you to life. I'm your mother or your father. I gave you this big home, all this money you could spend, this, that, and the other thing. And all that I'm asking of you is XYZ, you know? This is like, this is very narcissistic. It comes off as narcissism, but I feel like this is really moving from more of a place of fear. Like, you can either help me or like, you'll see me dead on the news somewhere. You know, do you want me to end up like that? It's rude. Okay. Is there anything that you want me to share quick flashes in terms of particular celebrities? A lot of celebrities are going to start glitching. So when you see celebrities with health problems, hospitalized, and going through all this shit, they're not sick, they're glitching. They're glitching the fuck out. Y'all wanted to sit up here and do all this shit and do all this and do this and that and the other thing. Don't be upset when you're in the hospital glitching the fuck out. You know, that you signed that paperwork. You did those rituals. I can't help you with that shit. Yep. Yep. Jeez. It's the same cards. No justice, no peace. Hey. You see a lot of shit, but then you do the, I didn't see nothing, I didn't know nothing, I don't know nothing. So don't be surprised when source can't hear your cries, can't see you, can't hear nothing, you know. I don't know you. You had the ability to do things, to speak up, to bring change, to help these people, some of these people get back to their families, and you did nothing. You didn't warn them, you didn't help them. And a lot of these people are gonna go, well, I tried, and then you hopped right back on the wagon. The minute I see you got some type of award, like ridiculous award or awards, plural, or you hopped the food chain and got into a different tax bracket, I know that you didn't try hard enough, honey. You did not try hard enough. You done fucked yourself up, some of these people. That's not my problem. I'm just reading the energy. Now, because I don't want to have to sit here and be like, allegedly, tee-hee-hee, I'm not going to mention names. I'm not doing that. This is just the energy I'm reading. If you don't like it, kiss my ass. I will do a disclaimer in the beginning of the video, though. I mean, you know. So, is there anything else that you would like me to share? Because y'all woke me up at 1 in the morning to talk about systematic organ failure. To talk about how things are going to be crazy in the astrals, how you're going to be receiving more messages than you did before. We talked about clean water, making sure that you have water, making sure that you're listening to your spirit guides and sharing the knowledge and not being greedy with it. We talked about the energy of children and how they are divinely protected at this time at a higher rate than what they normally would be, so that more children can be born into this earth. We talked about how children are going to be our teachers, so we need to be speaking good blessings and intentions over them as they come into the world. We talked about Mother Gaia, the inner matrix of Earth. We talked about Hollyweird. Is there anything else you would like for me to touch on? All they're really saying is that change is coming. They're not... Yeah. Interesting. Don't let people fearmonger you into believing that this is going to be some... It's going to be a lot less chaotic than what we think, because there's already things put in place by our people. They're saying by our people. So those who walk Those who got knowledge directly from higher realms, so the light realms. Those who directly got knowledge from the light realms, who work in positions of, you know, higher power, specifically, are trying to make sure that there's things in place so that it's not as scary as it seems or as bad. I think that anytime humanity is faced with a massive change or information or things that they can't possibly grasp, it's a scary situation. They're kind of saying that this doesn't need to be a scary situation. But now is the time to connect. So if you've never made a direct connection with your ancestors, now is the time to do so. They're coming in heavy, 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 saying that we're trying to give you these messages. We're trying to give you this information. We want to make sure that you're good. Pay attention. Someone is... Okay. When I do collective readings like this, it gets difficult because people's ancestors want to try and pop up in here and share confirmation, share different confirmations. Someone's talking about grasshoppers, the other's talking about butterflies, the other's talking about an albino snake. Shoot. 555-444 1212 1234. Seeing flashes of light around you, orbs coming from light realms to bring along knowledge. Randomly feeling the need to say affirmations. I am affirmations, to be specific. It's their way of helping protect you. So when you feel the random need to do I am affirmations, I am powerful, I am protected, I am loved, out of nowhere, that's them kind of giving you the, hey, there's some energy around you that's trying to penetrate your aura, that's trying to really penetrate that light body. You need to start saying I am affirmations to rebuild and strengthen that your field, your energetic field. Okay, so specifically, I need everyone else to, wow. So I was going to give a particular, I was going to ask for something very particular. And of course, this comes out. I am present. Light body activation, ascending, accessing the divine within. My bad. It's just funny how when I say stuff, you know, it corresponds with the, I love when that happens. So basically, they're saying that a lot of you are ascending. And so we have our aura, right? And then we have our light body, which extends out around us and is like a bubble. I believe that in the book that this came in, it talks about the Merkaba spinning at a high velocity, like rate. And that's kind of what makes up that light body shield. So it's like the, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's how they explained it. But this talks about you feeling that, feeling more of like an expansion in your energy. And it can be kind of draining because you need to know how to shield yourself even more and where to extend that energy when it is needed. So all of the chakra points, because we have more than just the main system, and then all of the entrance points into our bodies, and what they correspond to. It might be a really good idea to study that if you've been interested in that, because that will help you figure out where to utilize the energy and teach you more on how to transmute anything coming your way. So for instance, if someone is sending you negative energy, it would teach you to instead of just kind of pushing it away, kind of collecting that energy, transmuting it, and turning it into power for yourself, turning it into good, to prosperity for yourself. So this would be anytime you speak negativity over my name, it simply brings me more power. It simply makes me more powerful. It strengthens my intuition, it strengthens my spiritual practice, and leads people to me who are going to help me grow spiritually and financially. That type of thing, rather than just, you know, negative energy is one of those things that exists, and You can't avoid it forever, but you can, you know, do some alchemy. Bending things to your will to create something that is beneficial to you without causing harm to those around you. Now, what happens to them that is directly related to the karma has nothing to do with you. They may have done something to you, and then as a result, karma takes place and something happens to them. You don't need to do that right now. That's not your focus. Your focus is upping your protection, learning alchemy, learning how to transmute, learning how to turn that negative shit into positive shit for you. And fuck them. They'll get the message soon enough. They'll figure out that everything that they're bouncing to you is sucking away their own, chipping away at their, you know, whatever, and giving you more. And no, you're not an energy vampire. You are learning how the game is played and winning. So, I think this is what I've got. I'm sure that there's more. I'm just tired. I'm just really tired. So this is what I've got. I'll be back to pick a cards soon enough. I'm in a really large transitional period right now, so my readings are kind of really slow, and I don't have the time right now to get everything done, but that's okay. I'll figure it out. So this is what I've got, and I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope it made sense. Let me know if you've gotten any of these downloads as well, and you know, let me know what's going on. I want to know how tapped in you are. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.